Sheik is one of the fastest, safest, and most flexible characters in the game. Her excellent dash and airspeed, combined with her amazing neutral and potent combo game, gives her a vast array of options that allow for her to be played in a variety of styles. On top of this, she also has one of the best recoveries in the game, as well as a very volatile edgeguarding game. Sheik's playstyle is based around close and mid-ranged conditioning to identify patterns and playing around those patterns with her speed and non-committal options. She feeds on playing safe and elusive until she finds an opening, only to punish with a burst of extreme aggression. All of her moves have a great amount of utility and can combo into her other moves. So playing her is a lot about true combos and about converting off the ones that you can land. Because of this, Sheik relies heavily on reactionary combo strings and covering opponents' escape options. Even if the opponent air dodges or jumps, it might be in vain, since she feeds on punishing those two options very well. Not to mention that her speed and aggression can stress an opponent out and bait forth impractical air dodges or jumps. And so, knowing when to stop a string in order to cover these escape options is a core part of Sheik's gameplay. Sheik has one of the fastest walk and dash speed in the game. She also has a really good crouch that reduces her hurtbox and can lure opponents into committing to an option. She can also crouch slide, which is done by inputting the analog stick diagonally as you land, and then roll the analog stick to the other direction and release. This can serve as a good mix-up tool for repositioning. However, it only works facing the right direction, and if you have momentum to the right. Properly utilizing shield dashing is a core aspect of her gameplay, as it allows her to use her speed to effectively trap landings and take stage control. Another core aspect is plenty of fast fall and short hops and tomahawk grabs, as well as perfect pivots, which are really important for spacing and extending combo strings. Sheik's wall jump and wall cling also serve as tools to aid her movement that makes her harder to edgeguard or can assist in her edgeguarding. Some of her more advanced movement are B-reverse needles in the air and on the ground, which is then done by running B-reverse needles and immediately cancel the charge. Another version of this is a movement called C-bounce. To perform this optimally, it is recommended that you set a shoulder button to special, and it's required that you set the C-stick to attack. C-bounce is performed by running, tilting the C-stick to the opposite direction, and within 2 frames, charge needles, and then press shield whenever to cancel the charge. If you don't set a shoulder button to special, you'll have to use a claw grip. These movement options are both used to fake out an approach and bait reactions. Finally, we have instant needle cancel, which basically allows Sheik to perform a jab, tilt, or smash out of a run. This is done by running, letting go of the analog stick, press neutral special, use an attack, and press shield. All of this needs to be inputted extremely fast. Then she also has some other movement like releasing the ledge and immediately using bouncing fish to get onto the stage or to a platform, or wall jump, B-reverse needles to glide in and respond with a grab, for example. These can be really important to learn, because utilizing Sheik's movement is extremely important in her neutral game. What's really cool yet hard about Sheik's combo game is that it's mostly based on reaction, meaning you have to freestyle and create your own new combos in the blink of an eye. It all depends on the character's weight, percentage, DI, if they jump, air dodge, or attack. The main decision you will have to make when comboing with Sheik is if you want to deal damage or get stage control. Knowing which one to go for in which situation and matchup can be a determining factor in if you win or lose the game. For example, against Zero Suit Samus or Donkey Kong, opting for stage control makes it harder for them to land their most powerful options. But against characters like Sonic or Pikachu, making sure you have a percent lead so they have to approach is a lot more advantageous. There are also some key combos you should be aware of. Just keep in mind that there are way more combos than these. Forward air is Sheik's main move in a neutral, due to its utility as a safe poke with great range, as well as being a great shield pressure tool and combo starter. It's mainly used at the peak of a short hop combined with a fast fall in order to be as safe as possible, but you can also short hop and buffer the move to use it as a defensive spacing tool while retreating, or aggressively approaching with it in order to stuff jumps. Directly approaching with forward air against shield can be an effective tool against characters with slow grabs or slow out of shield options, as grabbing yourself or jabbing prevents you from getting shield grabbed and can intercept the opponent's attempt on counterattacking. However, approaching like this is generally unsafe against a good portion of the cast. It can get you punished if you guess wrong on what out of shield option you think they will choose. Against characters with good out of shield options, it's much better to space the forward air on shield, so that you can pressure and bait the opponent into choosing an option and then punishing that option to start a combo. Depending on how you space the move, you can keep adding pressure with jab or tilts to intercept counterattacks and to condition them into shielding for longer. Actually, jab is generally used as a continuous pressure tool after forward air, neutral air, or tilt. If jab connects, it can lead to a mix-up between a grab or tilt. Once you connect forward air, there are a ton of combos you can pull off. Here are some of the key combos to keep in mind. Neutral air is used to punish things out of shield, as it's her fastest aerial, to cover ledge options, and as an effective anti-air, due to its long-lasting hitbox. It's also effective at extending combos, due to its low knockback growth. And killing at higher percent. In the neutral, it can be used as an approach to cover jumps and spot dodges, as well as it conditions opponents into shielding for a bit longer. If it's buffered out of a short hop, it'll auto-cancel. And if you hit the opponent's shield as late as possible, it'll be safe. If you hit the shield too early, there's a good chance it'll get punished. It's a bit more aggressive, yet riskier than forward air. And because of the extended hurt box Sheik puts out, it's easily punishable if it's whiffed. This move will mainly be used to cross up shields and get behind the opponent and add even more pressure, or just to claim the middle stage. You can also hit this move with the sweet spot, just before landing, which also makes it safe. Compared to forward air, which should be used more at lower percents because of the combos it starts, neutral air can work better as a mix-up at mid to high percentage because of the more effective setups and frame traps it creates. Back air is mostly used to edgeguard and crossing up shields, as it's usually unsafe in the neutral because of the massive extended hurt box. If you intentionally use back air in front of the opponent's shield where they can shield grab, Sheik will almost automatically end up behind for a punish. Back air's real usefulness, however, comes from being an excellent edgeguarding and combo tool. It can reset opponents with its weak hit after a ledge slip or footstool. Both neutral air and back air can cause these ledge slip setups. Back air begins seeing use in combos at around mid percentage, as it can be a better option than forward air since it has less knockback and deals more damage. Down air is Sheik's hardest punish off stage, working a little bit like a kamikaze move. If you can correctly predict the opponent's escape option off stage, you can take them down with you. Keep in mind though that only the first 3 frames of the move spike. It can also trade with certain recoveries. and punish certain opponents re-grabbing the ledge without invincibility. The rest of the move sends opponents upwards, which really doesn't accomplish anything. It does, however, have a landing hitbox that sends the opponent away, allowing for potential setups for tech chase scenarios. It's a true follow-up after a footstool. It can be used to accelerate Sheik downwards to the stage or stall her in the air for a split second. Both of these options are extremely risky and punishable. It can also be used during a ledge trump to punish opponents for using ledge jump. Up air's primary uses are finishing a combo and killing. Normally, up air will launch the opponent away in whatever direction Sheik is facing, meaning you'll want to DI away from her to survive the longest. But if Sheik manages to get the back hit of up air, it'll launch the opponent the other way, so holding that same DI away from her will get you killed earlier. And so instead you'll want to hold towards her, meaning you'll have to mostly react with the right DI. To successfully cross up the opponent, you'll need to drift to the left or right just before the last hit connects. If you smash the eye either to the left or right, the cross up will most likely be unsuccessful. Up air can be used to drag opponents down and combo into another move. The trick is to simply use up air at the peak of your jump, as you fast fall and hit the ground, just as one of the hits connect. Forward tilt is her best grounded option as it combos into basically everything and is Sheik's main punish tool on the ground since it can set up into 50-50 kill setups. It's really quick and safe. However, it doesn't mean that it's completely unpunishable. In many situations, it'll provide excellent shield pressure and bait forth reactions that you can punish. They can follow up to a footstool at mid percentage, unless they preemptively DI away the forward tilt. Down tilt can be used as an occasional combo extender. It has a sour spot and a sweet spot. However, the sweet spot sends almost straight up, allowing for many more combos. This move is also great for catching 2 frames. Up tilt can also be used as a combo extender. It provides safe pressure on opponents on platforms and can even reset the opponent. Other than that, you can also potentially use it to punish ledge jumps out of shield or regular get-ups. Up smash is Sheik's strongest attack and is used to hard punish air dodges at mid to high percentage. The sour spot of the move sends opponents horizontally and is much weaker than the sweet spot. Forward smash is Sheik's strongest horizontal sending smash, and is mostly used as a potential punish against laggy moves. Down smash is Sheik's quickest and weakest smash attack. However, it's extremely risky and has very low reward, so it's barely worth using. Dash attack is mostly used as an out-of-shield option to punish things that are too far away for forward tilt to hit. It could also be used as a whiff punisher or landing punisher. However, it's risky and provides very little reward. Bouncing fish is used for combos, kills, escaping, mobility, recovery, long distance anti-air, and most importantly, conditioning. The distance can be altered by holding in or holding away. The kick comes out on frame 26, however you can make the kick come out earlier by pressing A or B quickly, allowing it to come out at frame 17. After connecting a kick, you'll bounce back and can throw out another kick. You can also choose to not kick and either hold towards the opponent or away to alter her distance. If you kick the opponent and stay passive while holding away, you'll actually space yourself further away than if you immediately kick a second time, making you sometimes harder to punish. You can full hop, bouncing fish with good timing, and immediately kick to land completely lagless. You can use it as a mix-up to get to platforms or back to stage. You can also use it while facing a wall to bounce off and try hitting the second kick. Doing this instead of just immediately bouncing fishing off stage will allow you to stall the kick for much longer distance. If bouncing fish is used and Sheik gets hit while airborne, she cannot use the move again until she touches the ground or grabs the ledge. This move can be hard punished if it gets spot dodged. The key is to always try to react to the move rather than preemptively buffer an air dodge to escape it, at which point it can be punished if you have a quick move. She can also use the quick kick off stage to fake out the fact that she wanted to hit the move, and so instead she can shorten it and look for an air dodge punish with either forward air or neutral air. You can ledge trump to bouncing fish, however the trump needs to be done extremely quickly after they grab the ledge. Vanish is one of the best recoveries in the game, and the explosion is also a hard punish against air dodges. The reappear has a hitbox and a wind box, which can let you mix up your opponent trying to edgeguard you by hitting your 2-frame. This is done by doing up B, and just as Sheik is about to appear, you have to tap down on the analog stick and immediately release. It's a strict timing, but is important to learn as Vanish is one of the easiest recoveries in the game to 2-frame due to its long startup and identical timing. If you use Vanish just after her hitstun ends, the distance traveled will extend. Recovering from above either diagonally or straight down will remove the 2-frame, making it even safer. You can double jump, use Vanish, and recover diagonally back to stage, which allows Sheik to grab the ledge with invincibility. This can also be done from a standing position. You'll have to angle the analog stick down and very slightly to either the left or right, and release as soon as Sheik disappears. Holding at a 45-degree angle diagonally will not work. This can either punish a 2-frame or ledge trump. It can potentially be used out of shield to punish aggressive landings and comebacks to stage. And if you hold away diagonally, you'll land without any landing lag. As long as you appear at this distance from the ground, it'll be lagless. However, this is risky since it can be hard punished. Grenade can be used as a situational edgeguarding tool. Its main use is running to the ledge, usually after you've taken a stock, to not only create an explosion and make it hard to see what option Sheik is going for, but to condition the shield, as the explosion actually needs to be shielded, otherwise a combo starts. It can also cancel out some projectiles. As for spawning the item, it requires Sheik to get hit during side B before the explosion comes out. Normally it will slide off the stage, but a weak hit right when the move is used will allow Sheik to drop it right in front of her. Once you have the item, you can use it in combos, for shield pressure, or as a kill confirm. Needles are by far one of the best tools in the game and are an essential part of Sheik's game plan. Needles are a movement tool, a pressure tool, an edgeguarding tool, a combo tool, and most importantly, Sheik needs to use the needles to dictate the pace of a match, and play accordingly to how the opponent usually tries avoiding them. The opponent's main options to deal with needles are jumping, rolling in, or shielding them. Flickering needles to force your opponent to pick one of these options, and then punishing it is core to Sheik's game plan. 6 needles can and should be charged at all times, unless you are continuously throwing needles to condition, frustrate, and deal damage. She can throw needles off stage to condition forth an air dodge, and then start flickering needles to punish the air dodge. The needles will start dealing a bit less damage halfway through, at which point they deal 1%, and as they stale, they sometimes deal no damage. They will start launching opponents once at higher percentage, allowing you to read a double jump, a tech, a whiff, or any other possible option. They also set up into tech chase situations onto platforms only to score kills with an up smash. You can use needles in order to create these situations and only deal 1% in the process, just to keep the opponent at a good percentage. One important thing to learn is to full hop and buffer needles in order to kill confirm. This option can sometimes serve as the only way to kill at extremely high percentage. DIing the needles up and away will increase your chance at avoiding the bouncing fish. You can also charge needles, cancel them, and immediately press up B down B or side B before the air dodge comes out. Sheik has a very flexible grab game, however it deteriorates the more rage she has. The general rule is to always DI away from all of her throws to limit what she can get out of it. At 0 to 20% down throw leads into footstool against the majority of the cast. If you don't have enough of the stage to work with, you can instead forward throw to forward air or bouncing fish. A few characters can DI towards Sheik at low to mid percentage and air dodge the bouncing fish. However, this can still be punished with a simple aerial. At high percentage, forward throw will serve as one of her 50-50 kill setups, as she can either immediately bouncing fish, which needs to be reacted to and air dodged, or she will punish a preemptive air dodge. If she stalls the bouncing fish to punish an air dodge, you can safely double jump out. She can also jump, flicker needles, and then do an air dodge cancelled bouncing fish in order to mess with you and bait forth an air dodge, as the sound and movement itself is very deceptive. DIing towards her can lead into a free kill. Because of this, she can back throw you to punish the way you were holding your DI, and so this is why reacting with the correct DI is crucial, as back throw can lead into another 50-50 if you DI towards Sheik. DIing it away won't really give Sheik any real openings. Up throw and down throw can serve as a potential 50-50 against a few characters, in which case you still want to DI away from her to potentially escape. Against some characters you have to jump, instantly double jump and up air to catch their double jump, and some characters you have to delay the double jump slightly. This needs to be frame perfect to work. Whenever Sheik wins neutral and opts to go for a combo that gives stage control rather than an extensive combo, it means that it's either time to go for an edge guard and try to cover an opponent's escape option to add even more damage or score a kill. However, often there won't be enough time for an edge guard, and so instead she needs to ledge trap. Ledge trapping is incredibly important for Sheik, as it allows her to compensate for the lost damage she gave up in opting for stage control. Of course, certain characters are easier to ledge trap than others, as Sheik's ledge trapping is also centered around reaction. Characters that have special ways to get off the ledge and characters with quick options that apply pressure from the ledge are much harder for Sheik to ledge trap. It mostly comes down to not getting greedy or impatient, and committing to a neutral air too early to hopefully cover an option, but rather about just shielding, watching, and reacting accordingly to what the opponent does to defuse the situation, as committing to a neutral air too early can easily get you punished or give them a chance to escape. Sheik has two ways of ledge trapping, and it depends on if the opponent usually goes for ledge jump or if they usually go for regular getup / ledge release. Let's start with ledge jump. To punish ledge jump, you have to preemptively commit to a neutral air while retreating to stay safe, and to be able to react to roll just in case. If they go for a regular getup or getup attack, you can easily run in and punish it, or at least condition them into shield. Now let's cover regular getup or ledge release, which gives you two options. First option is staying in shield, and time a grab or neutral air to deny that option. Same goes for ledge attack, and if they roll, you can turn around and dash grab. And like I mentioned before, ledge jump can be covered by retreating neutral air or by covering their landing. The second option for punishing regular getup and ledge release is by quickly ledge trumping to a back air. If they buffer a roll, you can react with bouncing fish, and if they go for a ledge attack, you can react with forward air or neutral air. The only option here that Sheik has a hard time covering is ledge jump, since the opponent has enough time to air dodge. Finally, if you're absolutely certain of what option the opponent will choose, because you've already denied them a bunch of options and conditioned them, you can hard punish ledge jump with up smash, hard punish roll with forward air, neutral air, down smash or forward smash, and hard punish getup attack or regular getup with back air to bouncing fish or neutral air to bouncing fish. And of course, if the opponent keeps stalling, you can punish with down tilt. The most crucial step to playing Sheik is mastering her killing game. Most of her early kills come from circumstantial confirms or platform-aided combos, while her more common kill options come in the form of 50-50s. It is for this reason Sheik thrives on conditioning an opponent into choosing to escape her low to mid percentage combos with either a jump or an air dodge, and later punishing either of these options with a hard read. By having a potent combo game, your killing game will improve drastically as well, since it's during the combo game that you'll be conditioning your opponent to escape. There's no real way of dealing with Sheik's combo game. If you're always trying to jump or air dodge her stuff, she might combo you even harder. And so, with experience, you need to know when you can actually air dodge or jump away. However, by using attack to potentially trade during her combo game, Sheik will instead be conditioned into shielding a bit more. And only when she's conditioned into shielding is when you'll want to actually start jumping out of her stuff, teching, or delaying your aerial while spacing away from her to potentially wall her out. The most effective way of dealing with Sheik's killing game is to stay calm, don't let yourself get frustrated, pressured, or conditioned by her speed and heavy combo game into always committing to the same escape option. Instead, stay calm and try to mix up what options you choose to escape her 50-50s, as it all comes down to guessing, or even better, reacting right in the end. It's crucial for Sheik to kill between approximately 90 to 150%, because once her opponents are out of this range, Sheik has an extremely limited amount of killing options, since you'll be able to DI away and jump out of most of her kill setups. At this point, Sheik should commit to playing the long game, as her neutral tools aren't very likely to kill until much higher percentage, and trying to net a kill at this percent involves using her unsafe moves, which gives ample openings. It is at this time where Sheik is the most vulnerable due to her lightweight and where her primary weakness reveals itself. Rage. It is highly detrimental to Sheik, not only on her opponent but on herself as well, as having rage can significantly diminish her combo potential, as well as it diminishes the percentage range for her 50-50s. The only real reliable way of scoring a kill is through a successful read with a needle, ledge trap, or ledge trump. This forces Sheik to avoid trading at all times, as she's a fast faller that suffers heavily from being comboed herself, which can lead to that she dies at extremely low percentage, and so you can play on her anxiety as she gets hit. Whiffing moves as little as possible and playing a slow-paced game where you either trade or wall her out, as well as taking high risks against her, can condition Sheik into playing a bit more defensively and careful, as she doesn't really have a hard punisher anyway. The punish will most likely be a combo starter, which is something she would have found in neutral anyway. Other than that, knowing what to shield and when to release the shield, when to counterattack, always being ready to deal with needles, rolling smartly, spot dodging and air dodging her bouncing fish, and most importantly surviving by not panicking or letting yourself get conditioned is the key for beating Sheik, as well as walling her out, denying her stage control by ledge trapping her, and then taking advantage of rage. All of this forces Sheik to play extremely safe for longer than almost any character to win games, which can become mentally tiring, especially when a single human error can lead to a loss. To vote for what character should be next in the series, check out the link in the description below. Credit goes to Blank, Mr.R, Simikins, Pony, and the rest of the Sheik Discord for helping me out.